Hey, good morning, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to explain computing statistic for numeric variable. So for that, I'm using the procedure that is a mean. So we can, in simple language, we can say the PROC mean also. So by the PROC mean, like a procedure mean, we can calculate the descriptive statistic for numeric variable. Numeric variable, like a we can calculate the minimum, maximum, and standard deviation, variation. So multiple things we can do in PROC mean. So for that, I'm using that one data, that is a class data from SAS library. So here you can see in this data, there's a two, like a character variable, name and sex. Another is numeric variable, age, height, and weight. So you can see there's a three, this variable, three numeric variable, right? So what I'm doing here, I will write the simple program. So PROC means data. Which data I'm using? SAS help library, and data is class data. Now you can see whenever I'm just writing the basics PROC mean program. So here you can see I got the output for all three variable, age, height, and weight. So you can see this age and height and weight, this is the numeric variable in my data set. So because of that, I got like a descriptive statistic for all variables. So you can see whenever I am writing the PROC mean, in that cases, there's a default variable is n, mean, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum. Okay, so this is like a, whenever anyone is asking about the default variable of PROC mean, that time you have to reply n, mean, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum. Okay. So now, for example, I have written the program, but I got output for all three variable, right? So but I don't require the all variable for that age and height and weight. So I just I'm very specific about my age variable. So I want that statistic for age variable or height variable. So in that cases, I'm just writing another program. I want statistic for age and height variable only. Okay. So for that, PROC means data. Which data? SAS help libraries, class data. Here I am defining the bar statement. Bar statement, here you have to define the variable. For which variable you need the statistics. So here I am writing the age, and another is height, and run. So you can see I got output for two variable, age and height. So n, mean, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum. So here you have to remember, if I'm getting the default variable 5 variable, right? Apart from that, this 5 variable, in case I want only this two variable, standard deviation and minimum. Okay, so in that case, we have to write the program. So now here I'm writing the program. PROC means data is equal to which data? SAS help dot class and var. Var is my age and height, and run. But here I'm giving this because I want a standard deviation minimum. So I'm giving the option std and min. So you can see I got output with the standard deviation and minimum value. Similar way, if I required max, so you can see maximum is added. If I want n, so here I can get the multiple options for statistic analysis. So here there is a sum. So we can calculate the CLM. CLM basically two-sided confidence limit for mean. So which is used for descriptive statistic QC, and in clinical research, whenever we are estimating the true effect of drug across the population, that time we are using the CLM. Okay, CSS. So CSS basically corrected sum per square. CB. Okay, so that is the coefficient for variation. If I want to calculate the kurtosis, so in that case, kurt is there. Okay, and n miss, number of missing. So we can check the with n miss option. And if we want to calculate the range, that time we can define the range as an option. And if you want to calculate the skewness of that data, so in that case, it's skew. And apart from that, if you want to calculate the standard error, right? So in that cases, we can give this kind of option, and also we can give the sum. We can give the var, variance, USS. So that is basically for uncorrected sum for square. And if you want to calculate the median, so we can write down as a median. And if you want to calculate the percentile, percentile 1, we'll give the percentile 1. Suppose I want percentile for 5, percentile for 10 and 50. In this way, we can define in PROC mean as an option. But here you have to remember, whenever you are going for the global certification, that PROC mean is very, very important. And apart from that certification, if you are going for the report generation, like in clinical, SAS, in banking or different domain, right? If you want to generate the report, that time PROC mean is very, very important, because you can do like a multiple statistic inside of the PROC mean. So that is very helpful. So in that cases, you can give the option. Most of time, this kind of like options related question like asking like a certification. So this is basically, we can say like a PROC mean. So in case you can see I can give this kind of options in PROC mean, right? Suppose I want to save my data in work library. So in that cases, PROC means data is equal to SAS help dot class and var age and height. Here I have to write output out statement. So I want to give the name and run. So now you can see here, select and run. Now you can see, just I'm checking my log. So log is executed successfully. My program is executed successfully. So we can see in like a log. So there is a like a report generated in a result window, that is a n mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. I got all 5 variable in report. So now just I'm checking this data is saved in my work library, right? So I will just open that work library. Inside of the work library, I will open this data name underscore name underscore. So you can see this is here like an output is generated, but here this is very important. Here you have to remember one thing: whenever I'm saving the data in work library, that time type underscore type underscore freak underscore stat underscore, this 3 default variable is created. Again I'm repeating, whenever we are doing the PROC means program. So in result window, my default variable is 5: n, mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. Whenever we are saving this data by the output out statement, that time I'm getting the 3 default variable, that is the underscore type underscore freak underscore start underscore. But here you have to remember, you can see here I'm just showing in report that in result window you can see n, mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. This is my variable. Whenever I'm using the output out statement, that time this all variable is converted in as an observation underscore start underscore variable. Okay, so this is important point you have to remember. So there is a two default variable not two, three default variable while generated while saving the data in work library. So you can see this is my output, and this is result output. So now you can see in this program, PROC means data, and then simple SAS help dot class. Okay. Bar, age, name, sorry, height, and run. But I want minimum and maximum value of age and height variable. So for that I have given the option min and max. Now you can see I got this data in this way, but you can see I got output like minimum 11 point multiple after decimal multiple digits there, right? So in that case, for example, I don't want all that numbers after decimal. So in that case, there is a one option, max dec. So for example, I'm writing 1, so we can see the answer. So here you can see that after that decimal, that one digit is there. If I'm writing 2, so now you can see after decimal that 2 digits is there. If I don't want any number after decimal, so in that case I will write max text is 0. So I will get all data before decimal. So PROC mean is very important, which is used in multiple domain and for report generation and statistic calculation. Thank you.